Hi guys, welcome back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hey, where do you think we're gonna go this week? You have a guess? We were in the rainforest last week. Yeah, easy speasy. We're gonna be visiting the ocean. Yeah, and just like the ocean, we are going to explore some of the animals. And do some reading and some writing, okay? But before we do, we have to learn about the oceans, the water that the animals live in. It's super important because it takes up so much of our world. All right, so let's go through with our globe. Now, this globe is not as nice as the one at our school because the one at our school really shows really well that most of the globe and most of the world is covered in the blue color. Why? Yeah, for the oceans. And if you imagine that the world is like a fraction, 3 out of the 4 pieces, if I have 4 pieces, let me do that again to show you. If I had a circle in 4 pieces, and that was our Earth, 3 out of the 4, almost 71% of the world is covered in water. Yeah, so it's super important. That means you could squish all the land into 1/4 of the world, and the rest would be nothing but water. So that is super important, right? Yeah, and those creatures that live in there. So, we're going to learn the names of the oceans. Now, this is funny. When I was growing up as a little girl, I always just learned the 4 oceans. Because in 2000, they decided to add or to make an extra ocean. I know that sounds funny. It's always been here. But the Pacific was so big that at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, they decided in 2000 to rename that the Southern Ocean. So now there's actually 5 oceans that we learned in school. Okay, so I'm going to teach you all of them. The first one, if you have this page, you need to find it. And if not, you can print one off the internet and follow along with us. Okay, just look for labeling the oceans of the world or something like that. Or you can do it after this video. But it is important for you to know where they are. If you look at where we live in North America, up here, right? And if you've ever been to Florida and stuck your feet in the water, like by Disneyland or in Destin, Florida, or if you've ever been to Florida, or like Carly was just in Virginia Beach, on that side, the eastern side of the United States, that is called the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean, the Atlantic. Okay, so if you want to label it, it's right here. Then land, like our friend land, and then tick, Atlantic. And it's on the eastern side by Florida or by the East Coast, where I used to live. Okay? Now, if you've ever been to California, and I think Marcos has been to California, but if you've ever been to California on the other side, by Disney World, I think it is, I don't know, in California, it's the Pacific Ocean. That's right here, Pacific, P-A. So in the United States, we have 2 oceans on each side of our coast, the Atlantic and the Pacific. All right. Now the third one is way up top in the north where it's super cold. And we learned about these animals that live in the super cold with the blubber to keep them warm in those cold waters. Do you remember where it was? Yeah, the Arctic. The Arctic is up top, right in the north. Cold and icy water. So that's 3 of the oceans already. Okay, the next one is not so hard to find on the map. Because if you can find Africa right here, this big continent of Africa in the warm waters, that ocean is called the Indian Ocean. It's a warmer ocean. Yeah, think of like India, there's the Indian Ocean. So let's see, Atlantic, Pacific, Arctic, Indian. Now remember I said Pacific in 2000 was so big that they decided to make a Southern Ocean to rename it? Yeah, the Southern Ocean is at the bottom because it's south, Southern Ocean. So those are our 5 oceans. And to help you, I have a little bit of a song. But you'll notice this song only has the 4. So we're going to have to remember that Southern Ocean too. But the song will help us remember most of them. Okay? And now I'm going to feel silly, so you have to help me sing along. Okay? All right, let's try it. It's Dr. Jean. She's my favorite. And I'll put it on the playlist too. Ready? Atlantic's the name of the ocean. Pacific and Indian too. The Arctic is often forgotten. I can name the oceans, can you? Can too. Oceans, oceans, oceans of beautiful blue. Oceans, oceans, I can name the oceans, can you? Can too. Atlantic's the name of an ocean. Pacific and Indian too. The Arctic is often forgotten. I can name the oceans, can you? Ready? Oceans, oceans, oceans of beautiful blue. Oceans, oceans, I can name the oceans, can you? Can too. Good job. You guys are awesome. You're rocking it. All right, so there are really 5 oceans. That song had 4: Atlantic, Pacific, Arctic, Indian, and then that way south, the Southern Ocean. Don't forget about that one because it's not in our song. Don't forget to label it. Find it, label it. You can color all of it blue where the ocean is, and then the land could be green or brown, so you know that part's the land. But it's super important that you remember that most of our world, 3/4 of it, is water, okay? And in your packet, you should have this green piece of paper, and you're probably wondering, what is that, Mrs. Zerbo? It is going to be our seaweed, kind of like when we made vines for our rainforest. This one, if you crumple it up, that's my favorite part. I love crunching it up. It's going to be like a little piece of seaweed that we can put all of our animals on. Now, we didn't learn about any animals today because we're just starting to learn about the ocean. But you're going to need this green piece of seaweed. And if you don't have one because you didn't pick up the packet or you're not in my class, get a piece of paper, color it green, crumple it up, and be ready because you're going to start putting animals on there. Okay? And that's it. So 5 oceans of the world: Atlantic, Pacific, Arctic, Indian, Southern. Good job. And that's it for today. Don't forget to label your oceans, and you know what to do. Keep learning.